there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
When Bentley was small, we noticed that there were several different things that he was doing differently. When doctors and specialists continue to tell you what is wrong with your child, you are in such a dark place. The therapists at UCP are amazing. They brought inspiration, they brought hope. Bentley has a fantastic relationship with UCP. And if we can continue this together, Bentley will be unstoppable. That there were several different things that he was doing differently. When doctors and specialists continue to tell you what is wrong with your child, you are in such a dark place. The therapists at UCP are amazing. They brought inspiration, they brought hope. Bentley has a fantastic relationship with UCP. And if we can continue this together, Bentley will be unstoppable.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting. Robert.
So we're here at the first annual Paint It Forward giveaway. Joe, you're the owner of the company. Why are we here?
Well, as a leading painting company in Arizona, we thought it was a good idea to set a good example for what other companies can do.
So how does it work? People have to write why they need you guys to come out and paint their house. Maybe it's a family problem. There's a little old lady down the street who can't paint her own house. A lot of different things.
Yeah, really it's just any story. We asked them to go on our website and submit their story. And we had over 100 entries this year. And as a company, we voted on the top 10, and Kelly was the winner of all that.
Tell us your story about your husband. He's had a tough struggle. This is one of the reasons why we're here for you and for him.
Right. Yeah. He was diagnosed just shortly after my son was born, about 9 years ago, with cancer. It's a slow-growing type of cancer, but the last couple years it's been making more of a headway.
When you got the HOA letter in the mail that said you need to paint your house, is that a sinking feeling in your stomach, knowing that I don't know if I can afford this?
It is, because it's something that you have to do, but you don't know where the money's coming from, and you have about 20 or 30 other things that have a priority first, like the medical bills and the other financial bills. And even, we were 2 incomes, we're down to 1 income. So 1 income with a house we bought 10 years ago to support both of our incomes, and now it's just me. I think we pay for everything on the one salary. I heard the story on the radio about the Paint It Forward. I heard other things. I was obviously looking at painting quotes and things like that, but hesitant because I don't know what I'm going to get. And, I need a good job because, again, it's just me here with the kids. And when I heard it that day, I went home and I submitted my entry. And honestly, it was almost like a therapy thing for me just to write my story, and then I just put it up there and I just let it be. Whatever happens, happens.
Let's take off the blindfold, and here is your Paint It Forward. Yeah. Go.
Oh my goodness, it looks like a new house. Oh my goodness. Are you sure this is our house? Wow. Oh my goodness, what a difference. Wow. Oh, thank you, everyone. This is just wonderful.
Joe, you got dozens of trucks out here from the Arizona Painting Company. You got dozens of workers. How are you doing this? Because you're doing jobs all over the valley, and you've got a ton of people here.
We have the best employees in the state, and we got our troops to rally behind us today. And as the biggest painting company in Arizona, we like to do more than just paint houses. We want to give back to the community, and that's what this whole thing is about.
Paint It Forward 2015, Arizona Painting Company.
Never had a dream come true till the day that I found you. Even though I pretend that I moved on, you'll always be my baby. I never found the words to say. You're the one I think about each day, and I know no matter where life takes me to, a part of me will always be. A part of me will always be with you.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Living in a trailer park. Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fenders truck race here live on All Pro Broadcasting for the Serv Pro 100 here at Richmond International Raceway. Guys, this is going to be one of the most incredibly exciting races you're ever going to watch on iRacing or YouTube. Mark my word here, I got some of the greatest commentators here. They're going to be calling the race tonight. We've got Curtis Young in the booth as well as James Ross. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Non-points race here at Richmond, and lots of drivers that don't normally drive in the truck series, such as Dave Washington and Ethan Glenn. I haven't seen him around, or Bo Glenn, so I think those guys are just running this special event truck race. And yeah, when you get a bunch of guys that don't all run together all the time, it can be a little interesting, so it should be a good one.
Go ahead, James. What are you expecting for this special occasion? A few-time only race here tonight, and points are off the line, but we do have cranked up. What are you expecting, James?
I think it's going to be an interesting race for sure. I was talking to a few of the drivers, and they were talking about some troubles on entry tonight, getting the truck to settle, and then the truck goes a little bit tight after that. So should be very interesting. We'll see how it shakes out here, but and like Curtis says, there's a couple guys here that don't run normally, so it'd be good for me to get this perspective on one of these things. It should be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Again, this is the Serv Pro 100. I want to make sure all you fans understand we got the free pizza giveaway tonight. I'll give the details out here shortly. And Curtis and James will also reinforce that before lap 67. Guys, do my math for me. I think that's halfway of 133. Serv Pro has the fastest response time to any disaster you guys will ever have in your home. Even if it's in your apartment. I don't care where you live, anywhere across the United States. You got a water tank leak, you got a toilet overflow, you name it. You want to call 1-800-SERV-PRO, they will be there, and they will make it like it never even happened. That's exactly what they do every single time.
And just looking down the qualifying charts right now, and it looks like Ryan A. Hill's at the top of the board right now with a 20.5. Doesn't look like David Washington has taken a lap yet. He ran a 20.371 in practice, so David's usually one of those guys who qualifies last second, so I'm guessing that's probably what he's going to do. We'll see if he can top Ryan's time there. And Gary Sexton not too far behind Ryan A. Hill, though, with 20.545, so all the times are looking pretty close all the way down the chart. Everybody within, looks like all within a second within the top 20 here at least.
Well, and interestingly enough, Curtis, as I take a look down here, it looks like most of the drivers have dropped anywhere from 0.08 to as much as 0.2 from their practice times. Could be the result of the track rubbering in a little bit, or it could be, these guys were just on, working on race runs and not really doing an all-out lap. But it'd be real interesting to see what our pole time winds up being. That 0.510 is a pretty good time right now as it stands.
Yeah, I never really thought about that, but you're exactly right. Looking down the charts, everybody's seeming to have fallen off a little bit, except for Ryan A. Hill. He actually ran the top two, actually, or three drivers actually ran a faster lap time than what they did in practice time. David Washington is clocked in 20.565, so unless he can beat that in his second lap, which I think he's completing right now, he'll start from the 4th position tonight, just under 1 minute left here in qualifying for the Serv Pro 100 here tonight from Richmond.
And one other thing I want to add real quick, fans, we do appreciate you being here. We do this for the drivers, and we do this more importantly for the fans. We're going to have a very, very special moment you do not want to miss on lap 22, a moment of silence for a very, very special young man who tragically lost his life. You got to tune in for that. And actually, that's the most important thing. Also, if you want to get your pick in for the free pizza giveaway we do every single Wednesday and Thursday night here at Domino's TYJ Racing, you want to tune in before lap 67. I'll go ahead and give you the details on how you can win that free pizza. Michael D'Amico runs all the cameras here at All Pro Broadcasting. I will give a quick shout out, fans. If you are new to what we're doing here, you want to make sure you click the subscribe button. If you're watching in the live chat, That way you get all the notifications for all of our races. You don't even have to worry about it. You may not win the free pizza tonight, but you can ask Curtis. You can ask James. You can ask any of these drivers. You can ask Michael D'Amico. We give away a free pizza to every single week, at least once or twice, if we have a fan who actually predicts the winner before halfway tonight of 133 laps. I think it's 67, guys. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to call, you want to text 919-883-7497. You see that on your screen. Or if you're in the live chat, you want to comment in the live chat. I picked this driver to win the race. Do not pick more than one driver. I will warn you. We've had quite a few fans pick 2 or 3 drivers over the course of the first half of the race. We cannot honor that. Pick one driver. You can wait until lap 65 if you need to, but pick one driver who you think is going to win the race, and we will be giving away that large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry-out only. Guys, I'll let you take it from here.
And yeah, drivers are all gridding up, and it looks like Ryan A. Hill does hold on to the pole in his Halo 5 Xbox One Chevrolet Silverado. Gary Sexton rolls off to his outside, and the looks like AdPro Toyota Tundra here tonight. Different truck there for Gary, so interesting look for him. Gabriel Wood is going to roll off behind them in the 3rd position. David Washington to his outside in 4th. Josh Bonwell going to round out your top 5 tonight. The number 24 of Eric Stanford starts to his outside. Blake Griffith in the 2 will start in 7th tonight. The 91 of Colton Salick rolls off in P number 8. William Roberts Jr. in the number 12 starts in 9th spot, and Shane Parrish in the 81 is going to round out your top 10 starting order tonight. James?
We're going to have Josh Tanner in the 84 will be starting 11th. William Locklear in the 4 truck, looks like a NASCAR Hall of Fame truck today, will be starting in the 12th position. The 43 of Ethan Glenn, new driver here in the trucks, will be rolling off in 13th. And David Wright in the 42 will be starting 14th. Vernon Markheim in the 33 will be starting 15th. Judd Danielson in the 85 is 16th. Jack Watts in the 77. Bo Glenn in the 46, the 3 of Mark Jackson, 54 of Nick Reynolds, 76 of Jeff T. Martin, 27 of Jesse Abraham, 9 of Chad Payne, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves, 78 of Donald Stewart, 6 of Gerald Campbell, 699 of Kevin Fetty, 72 of Ivan Garcia, 97 of Robert McFarland, 45 of Sean Kalis, and the 700 of Mike Donahue will round out the field. 31 trucks here tonight. Should make for a real good show, Curtis.
Yeah, it should. And one short pace lap here from Richmond, I do believe. Pace car lights are off. That's the reason for the quick rundown of the starting order there. And actually does look like the pace car is going to do one more lap. So confused me there with the lights coming off right away. But
yeah, the pace laps here are short, and I wanted to make sure we got them in. So looking at some pretty full stands here for a Wednesday night race here. So obviously the fans are excited about, and we are too.
yeah, and I'm excited to see what some of these guys can do that I've never even really heard of before. So we'll be green flag for 133 laps in just a couple seconds here. Ryan A. Hill gonna bring him to the green flag. Let you start us off, James.
Cars are coming around for. Pace car is off, and Ryan A. Hill fires. He gets a huge jump out to the lead. They're still too wide behind, as it looks like Josh Bonwell has an issue. Maybe spun his tires on the bottom of the track as they file into one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Josh Bonwell there. Either spun the tires or just didn't start in second gear or something. He was really slow on that restart. Dropped all the way back to at least 12th or 13th, it looks like. So not a very good start for Josh Bonwell, but he'll be able to get up there. It's a long race.
Absolutely, a lot of lap here, and being a short track, you can certainly expect a little bit of contact, probably a caution or two along the way. So it's real easy to recover from that early in the race.
It looks like David Washington has made his way up from the 4th position into the 2nd position. Oh, and we have a caution already. Let's see where that was. It looks like the 2 of Blake Griffiths goes around and the 81 of Shane Parrish involved. Trying to see who else came along and clipped that number 2 truck, and that was the 12 of William Roberts Jr. gets involved as well.
Yeah, that looked like it was just a little miscalculation on braking there. Looked like Blake got on the brakes. That's a real tongue twister there, but a little earlier than William expected, and they made some contact there. Hopefully they'll get those fenders banged out here and get him back up in the running.
And it looks like the 43 truck of Ethan Glenn. Looks like he ended up spun around out of that deal too. Doesn't look like he has much damage, if any, to that STP number 43 Toyota Tundra. He's brought it down pit lane. It looks like he might lose a lap. Pace car is already behind him, so not sure if Ethan Glenn is calling it an early night or if he's coming in to get some repairs, but early caution here from Richmond.
Yeah, with the early caution, some of these guys are coming down pit road obviously for repairs. Some may be coming down just for tires. Talking to the guys, tires are worth more than fuel here, so have a plethora of cars taking that option here on the first caution.
And what do you expect for this restart? David Washington's made his way up to the front row. Do you think he can... I'm assuming Ryan A. Hill is going to take the inside on the restart. Do you think David's got any chance of making a battle for it on the restart, or do you think he's going to have to get back behind him and make a pass that way?
Yeah, I think his best chance, I mean, the outside in one here is treacherous. And if you watch, I mean, they arc in early, kind of right towards where that cone is coming off of pit road. So anything outside of that, you're in no man's land. His best bet here is going to be to make sure he fires well, hopefully get a little gap in between, first and third there that he can slide into, and then go to work.
Just looking for people who have moved up quite a bit, and we've only had about 4 laps under green. It looks like the 54 of Nick Reynolds, he qualified in 20th, he's up to the 12th position. Jesse Abraham right behind him in the 27, he's up to 13th, qualified 22nd, and Jeff T. Martin behind them in the 76, he's up, looks like 6 or 7 positions as well, and a lot of guys gaining quite a few positions, so I'm not sure if that's all pit strategy, or if that's just what that big checkup was off the start with Josh Bonwell, if that slowed anybody else down or what that was, but lots of movement here early on, and should be a sign of much of the same to come, so I'm sure anyway. So hopefully these guys can keep these trucks under control. I know they're real loose entering the corner here under braking. They just want to brake sideways, so that's pretty much what caused that last caution. Pace car lights are off, though. We're going to be green flag, and pace car pulls off, sorry. Ryan A. Hill holding them up quite a bit more than he did last time with Washington dudes outside. He gets a good jump, puts Washington behind him about a car length, but Washington closes that gap about a half a truck length entering turn 1 there. Coming out of 2, it looks like Gabriel Wood is right on his back bumper, though. As they head down the back stretch, it looks like Gary Sexton is filed back into the 4th position, and they're side by side for 5th behind them with Eric Stanford in the 91 of Colton Salek.
Yeah, Eric has cleared the 91. Now he's alongside Gary Sexton, and Shane Parrish drives in under Colton Salek as well. He'll make the pass, and caution is out on the racetrack again.
Oh, and the 2 of Blake Griffith again. That was a big one.
It sounds like a rough night for the driver of the 2 truck here. Let's see if we can't get a replay of that.
And coming off of turn 4, it looks like I don't know if Blake tried to make it 3 wide, or the 45 might have been slowing up a little bit, but the 43 of I'm not sure who that is. That's one of the Glens there, I do believe. Ethan Glenn, new driver. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not really familiar with him, but it looks like they're going 3 wide. And Blake Griffith just tapped the 45 a little bit. Had no choice but to really hit him after that. Comes back up the track, Gerald Campbell absolutely destroyed. It looks like Robert McFarland actually might have got some damage on that too, so we'll see if his truck is okay. Unfortunate for him, Robert, you don't get to race very much, so hopefully your truck is repairable and you can keep running some laps out here. I'd hate to see your race coming to an end before lap 10.
I'll give you that update in just a second, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like Robert may be having some issues right now. A little busy in the truck right now, so we'll get back to him as soon as he has a moment to get to us.
Yeah, I do believe that was the number 2, Blake Griffiths, that just went for a big ride going up and over, or maybe it was Gerald Campbell, I'm not too sure, but somebody went flipping up and over when that wreck happened. That was Gerald Campbell in the 6 machine, so he's going to be going into the infield care center, and that aggressive Eagle Chevrolet is absolutely written off. Hopefully that pretty looking helmet that Gerald Campbell always wears held up nice, because probably needed it for that impact.
Yeah, I'm looking. He rolled quite a few times, but Curtis, believe it or not, he drove that one back to pit road. So, it looks like significant damage. I think his night may be done, but the fact that he was able to drive back to pit road on his own power was probably pretty encouraging for his condition.
Yeah, and you know what? I did a race, I think it was the Domino's Indianapolis race last week in the Cup Series. I got involved in a wreck, got quite a bit of damage. My car was smoking as I was driving into the pits. I figured I was done for sure, and it said that I just had like 30 seconds of optional damage, so I still had about 8 minutes of required, and I got it all repaired. Eventually my engine did blow, so they don't last forever if they get colossal damage no matter what, but I was able to get it repaired right away, and I would have been able to stay on the lead lap if I so chose, but I just decided to get it repaired as much as I could and try and save the engine. But yeah, you can get quite a bit of damage. You can see smoke coming out of the back of these things, and people can stay out there on the lead lap and just chip away at the damage, so I'd be surprised if that happened either.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. So I'm looking here. We're on. We've completed 12 laps here. Running order right now is Ryan Hill in first, David Washington in second, Gabe Wood in third, Gary Sexton is in fourth, Eric Stanford is in fifth, Shane Parrish has moved up from 10th to 6th, Colton Salick in 7th, Josh Baumwell in 8th, recovering from that early incident on the initial start. William Locklear is in 9th, and David Wright is wrapping up our top 10 right now.
Yes, guys, quick update. Sorry about that. I had a minute and a half of repairs, another 6 of optional, so we'll see if the engine can hold out here. Hopefully get another caution and I can get down to a repair.
All right. Well, what's your condition like right now, Robert? Are you okay? You're good to go?
Well, I'm running, and like I said, I got 6 more minutes. Go ahead, take the restart.
Looks like Ryan Hill actually took the outside line on this restart. He gets just as good of a jump as he did last time, but with David Washington take the opportunity to dive it down there, he doesn't. He just drives it in nice and easy. Closes about half a truck length on that number 55 of Ryan Hill, but battle behind them for the 4th and 5th position actually. Looks like Shane Parrish and Gary Sexton. Parrish clears Sexton now. Eric Stanford following suit, and they're side by side now.
I'm looking. Gabe Wood gets a little loose on the outside of 1. He's going to get passed here by Shane Parrish and Eric Stanford, all in one shot here. That puts him from 3rd to 5th.
And David Washington gets the run coming off at turn number 4 on the 55 of Ryan Hill. He's inside, headed down into turn number 1. Will he clear him? He does, clears it before they even hit turn number 2. Will Ryan A. Hill go for the crossover? Doesn't have the momentum. David Washington to the lead here on lap 17.
And that's never a good sight, seeing David out front in whatever he's driving. He's scary good wherever he goes. So let's see what Ryan can do. Possibly follow him, work in his tracks, learn a little something here. Maybe save a little more and take a run at him in a handful of laps here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna take some strategy to beat that number 98 now that he's got that Jags Toyota Tundra out front. Ryan A. Hill's a really good driver too, but I mean, David Washington, caution is out here on lap 19. Looks like that's the number 78 of Donald Stewart spins around coming out of turn number 4. Looks like self-spin there, and looks like the 84 of Josh Tanner tries to swerve in his iRacer Digest Toyota Tundra and just clips him. Donald Stewart gets up into the wall, and looks like nobody else gets involved. So 2-truck incident for the 78 and the 84 of Josh Tanner.
Wow, and that is unfortunate. One thing I did want to mention, actually, I was talking with Donald Stewart before the race, and if we can get a look at his hood and the rear deck lid, he does have a memoriam there to Everett Stewart. And previously we've said that was in honor of his son. I just want to clear that up. That's actually in honor of his father. So Donald, happy to clear that up for you, and happy to honor your late father.
Yeah, and speaking of memoriams, in one lap here, when we cross over onto lap 22, we're going to be silent for 3 laps in memory of Tanner Eisenhower. He today would have been his 26th birthday, so happy birthday, Tanner. Rest in peace. The son of Michael D'Amico and Michelle Eisenhower, Dawn Eisenhower. Michelle is an avid watcher of basically all the sim races you could think of here on YouTube. She's a diehard fan, always commenting on all the YouTube chats. So Michelle and Michael's obviously our camera guy, works really hard to bring all the best camera work he can to you guys. So thinking of those 3 during this time, and we'll go silent here for 3 laps. That will conclude our 3-lap moment of silence for Tanner Eisenhower. And looks like Josh Tanner actually got the lead off that one. I'm not sure if he stayed out or took 2 tires, but him and Gary Sexton were on the front row. That and the 98 and the 55 are sideways in turn 4.
Oh yeah,
is
and actually, Curtis, that's Jesse Abraham that stayed out there in front of the field. Big wreck, big parking lot here out in the front stretch. We'll see if we can figure out how this one started.
Yeah, sorry, that was Jesse Abraham, but somebody else, I think that was Gary Sexton to his outside that also stayed out. I could be wrong, but yeah, the 98 looks to be junk, and I'm not sure about the 55. He might have taken a little bit less damage, but both of those guys, the two fastest trucks here tonight, I think, taken out of competition on that one.
Yeah, and it looks to me like the 98 actually got loose, had to chase it up the racetrack, and the ensuing contact that happened from that, with the field bearing down behind them, it was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I'm going back and looking at the replay, and yeah, it looks like he just got a little bit loose, wiggled, and came in contact with the 55 of Ryan Hill there, and there's so many trucks behind him, not enough room for them to slow down. They just got plowed into.
Yeah, Gary Sexton took a wild ride in that. I saw him up on top of somebody's hood, ran right over the top. Came down on all four, though, so we'll see what kind of damage he has to his truck here.
Yeah, on that note, guys, we're going to take our first quick commercial break. You're watching the Serve Pro 100 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Fans will be back in just a minute. Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's 200 Racing Dented Fender Series. Serve Pro 100 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Guys, Curtis and James, what'd you see on those pit stops?
Well, it looks like Jesse Abraham has stayed out. I think a lot of guys stayed out because mostly everybody pitted on that, and there was a caution after about 2 laps. So Jesse Abraham deciding to still stay out, but the front running orders changed up quite a bit. Eric Stanford's up on the front row in second place with some damage on his truck. Shane Parrish looks like he's got some heavy damage to the front of his number 81 machine, but the pace car is off. Jesse Abraham takes the field with green flag this time. He gets a good jump on the 24 of Eric Stanford, and looks like Shane Parrish is actually going to get to his inside as they enter turn number 1. And can Eric Stanford make the outside work in turn number 2? It looks like the 81 has got the run coming off down the back stretch. He dives it into turn number 3 side by side. It looks like Gabriel Wood, he just has nowhere to go, trying to get the run. He's got the cleanest truck probably of everybody up in the top 5 right now. So the 91 Traxxas machine of Colton Salick. I was trying to remember the other sponsor on that. I think that's Tanner Talrico Signs and Designs that painted that truck. So I think he was telling us to give a shout out to him before the race, and he's up there battling inside the top 5, and it looks like Mitchell Reeves gets a little bit wiggly behind him, slams on the brakes a little bit too hard, and caution is out. It looks like that was the 17 of Gary Sexton. It looks like he just clipped the apron on turn 2, coming out of turn number 2, and breaks it sideways, slams on the brakes, and yeah, he calls that one out right away. That one was his bad.
Yeah, and ironically, Gary was out in front of the field there, fighting to stay on the lead lap, was probably praying for a caution, but I'm sure that's not the way he wanted it to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what he was doing too. It's just a heavy damage on his truck, just pretty much being forced to drive the heck out of it to just even try and stay on the lead lap, and it's frustrating when you were a top 5 truck before that incident happened. So just pushed it a little bit too hard. You don't see that very often out of 17 of Gary Sexton, so rare mistake on his part. Took the claim for it. He'll be going to the end of the line, but I'm sure he'll be coming in to repair as much damage as he can and be at the end of the line anyway. So looks like trying to see if the leader's coming down pit road.
Yeah, now most of the leaders did not pit there. Pretty much your top, I would say 11 or 12 trucks stayed out there. Eric Stanford being the one that's exception going in there. A lot of trucks trying to get a little bit of that damage fixed. It is a short track. Doesn't affect us so much as on the mile and a halves and the super speedways, but so a lot of times you can get away with some damage to a truck, but hey, early in the race, if you got a chance to get some damage fixed, why not? I'm noticing here we're just completing lap 35. That means we're just a little bit more than halfway to our pizza giveaway. Robert, if you got a copy, or Curtis, can you give us some details on our pizza giveaway?
Yeah, I think Robert's got his phone number there and stuff, but basically, yeah, pick your winner right now in the chat, or text it to Robert's number, which is Robert. What's your phone number?
Yes, sir. All the fans, you go 919-883-7497. The first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 67. You will win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry out only. We do not drive it to you in our trucks. You got to go to the store and pick it up, but it's any city in the United States of America. You can pick that up. Again, I
text that number, people. You can also put your pick in the live chat under YouTube there. Remember, please only pick one driver. If you do pick more than one driver, that will invalidate all of your picks. You can wait as long as you like up until lap 67 to make that pick, but do remember the first person to pick the winner accurately is the one that will win the pizza.
Exactly. Thank you, James and Curtis. And on this note, we're next time we do have a caution, we're going to take our first commercial break, but we're going to stay live with you guys. Who's made the most headway?
We already had a commercial break, Robert. That was about 10 laps ago, so.
Thank you. I'm really occupied here. Who you guys have seen moved up in the field?
Well, I mean, right now you'd have to talk about Jesse Abraham, who qualified 22nd. He's been staying out in front of the field. He's our leader right now. Shane Parrish is up from 10th to 2nd. Colton Salick is up from 8th to 4th. And Mitchell Reeves, who started the race in 24, he didn't even take a qualifying time. He's sitting in 5th.
Man, and with some of those really fast trucks taken out, specifically the 98 and the 55 having heavy damage, that's got to change the favorite to win this race, at least in my mind anyway. Who are you liking, James?
Oh, I tell you, I mean, he's been moving up methodically. I like the 81 right now, even though he's got a bit of damage. He seems to have a good handle on the truck, and he's moving up easy. As I see the pace car is off, and we are green.
Yeah, and it looks like Jesse Abraham gets a good jump on the field again, as he did the last time. Gabriel Wood rockets into the second position on that restart by the 81 of Shane Parrish. The 91 follows suit. That's Colton Salick, and Mitchell Reeves passed the 81 of Shane Parrish as well, and his number 02 Southeast Motorsports machine. And behind them, it looks like the number 4 of William Locklear clears the 56 of Josh Bonwell for the 6th position. And battle behind them as well is the 76 That's Jeff T. Martin tonight in the 70.
Oh,
Caution
we
is
got
out.
caution
and I
out again.
jinxed Jeff
Actually,
T. Martin. As soon as I talk about Jeff T. Martin, gets involved into a wreck there. So sorry,
Oh
Jeff.
yeah,
but-
actually was watching that, and William Locklear got a little bit loose on entry there. Thought he had the truck saved, and just couldn't hold on to it. He came around, and unfortunately, this place is not a whole lot of places to go when a truck gets sideways in front of you.
Oh wow! And check out the 54 just come along and take out the 98 completely. Looks like the 55 and the 98 both got tangled up in that again. So just wasn't meant to be for those guys tonight. They, I know Ryan A. Hill that's twice. He had nothing to do with that wreck and he got caught up in it. So David Washington just gets plowed into by the. Not sure who's driving. That's Nick Reynolds in the 54 tonight. Pit lane is a busy place right now. Looks like all the leaders are coming down. Jesse Abraham does lead them down in that number 27. He looks like the strategy worked out for him. He
No, actually, Jesse still stayed out on the racetrack. I think he's convinced he wants to stay out of trouble here right now. Actually, it seems like a lot of our leaders have stayed out here, but we do have a very, very busy pit lane. I see Jeff Martin, Josh Tanner, Shane Parrish, Blake Griffith, Eric Stanford, Josh Bonwell, David Washington, Gary Sexton, Ryan A. Hill. They're all getting damage fixed right now.
I'm pretty shocked that the 27 of Jesse Abraham has actually stayed out on the track. I pretty much assumed that he would be coming down pit road. That's been like, I think he hasn't pitted since the first or second caution, so he's on about 30 lap old tires, mind you. They haven't had too many green flag laps to heat him up yet, but I think Gabriel Wood is sitting in the best position right now. He's got fresher tires than the 27, and he's made his way up into the second position.
Yeah, and taking a look here, I mean, Gabe's truck looks absolutely pristine, as does Colton Salek right behind him. They've managed to stay out of trouble. Mitchell Reeves as well. They're all sitting in a good spot right now.
And Mitchell Reeves, I haven't seen him out in a while, but he's always fast from what I've seen, and part of that Southeast Motorsports crew, so those guys usually know how to get it done, and he's out here tonight in the top 5 right now. We were just under lap 50 here, working on lap number 44 under caution, and yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see him make a push for the win tonight. And another person that I know would be really excited to get the job done is that number 91 of Colton Salek. Heard him saying he just wanted to make it to the top 3 tonight, so looks like he's quick enough, and qualified in 8th position. A couple of fast guys are really taking out. That puts him right in the mix, so Colton Salek looking to have a strong run here tonight. Look for him to stay up there in the top 3 to 5 all night.
Yeah, guys, a good driver here. One thing I want to point out real quick is very quietly, you wouldn't even notice it, but sitting in 6th and 7th are the 699 of Kevin Fetty and the 700 of Mike Donahue. They started 27th and 31st. They've slowly worked their way up through the field here, and they might have a plan that we don't know about yet, but they're looking good right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight real quick the looks like the 45 711 has worked his way up to 20th. Go ahead, guys, on the restart.
Looks like Jesse Abraham actually takes the outside on this one, so we'll see what happens. He's still the control car, so he should get the jump. He does. Clears Gabriel Wood by about a truck length. Gabriel Wood looks like he might have been a little bit slow on the restart. It's like Reeves and Salek looked like they might have been trying to split him, but they didn't have the momentum. Gabriel Wood backs up the entry quite a bit into turn number 2 there, gets the run on Jesse Abraham, and he clears him into turn number 3 before they even hit turn 4. So Gabriel Wood to the lead here on lap number 46, but Jesse Abraham going for the crossover down into turn number 1. A little bit of contact there between the 27 and the 00. Gabriel Wood trying to hold on to the lead on the outside there.
And that contact is going to hurt Jesse here. He's being challenged right now on the outside by Mitchell Reeves in the 0-2, who looks like he's going to complete the pass. And inside of him, now he has Colton Salick to deal with as they enter one.
Yeah, Jesse Abraham, a bit of a sit and duck right now with his older tires than everybody else. He's got the 43 of Ethan Glenn hot on his tracks now. Caution is out. That is the 84 of Josh Tanner going around in turn number 2, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. I'm just backing it up to see if he had any help.
Turn number 1, actually. He just looks like he just...
Yeah, that's that loose under braking that we talked about early on in the show. It looks like the rears just locked up and hopped on him, and he was a passenger on that once that happened.
Yeah, he looped it around there in single car incident, but triggers the caution. He got pointed the wrong direction, and the front of cars coming onward at him on the track, so that's going to bring out the yellow and see if the 27 opts to come down pit lane this time, as he does.
He is right now.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
He's being followed by Mike Donahue and Kevin Fetty. We just spoke about them. Jack Watson, the 77, quietly having a good run. The 3 of Mark Jackson, 55 of Ryan A. Hill, 85 of Judd Danielson. There's a whole bunch of them. I'd say more than half the field are coming down here now.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin Fetty and Mike Donahue. Always like racing with those guys. Actually did the 24 Hours of Daytona with Kevin Fetty earlier this year, and I was actually going to ask him if he wanted to do the 6 Hours of Glen coming up here, I think this weekend, so I'm not sure what he's doing, but I was thinking about running that, and I had a lot of fun doing the 24 hours with him. He pretty much organized everything, and yeah, have a lot of fun racing with Kevin Fetty whenever I get the chance to, and looks like he's going to be back quite a bit farther than what he was just running after that pit stop, but he's a smart driver. He's we haven't even crossed the halfway point yet. He's just looking to keep his truck clean as it is right now and be there at the end. Mike Donahue in front of him as well, one of the easiest going guys you could talk to here, so fellow Canadian as well, and rocking that classic Mike Donahue Miller paint scheme that I've come to know him by as well.
Yeah, that is a good looking truck. It's one of the ones I always enjoy seeing when I'm out there. I'm looking here, it looks like pretty much our top 6 here, or 5 here, stayed out under that caution. Trying to get track position. So you got Gabe Wood in front, Mitchell Reeves, Colton Salick, Ethan Glenn, and Eric Stanford all stayed out on that stop. Looks like also Ivan Garcia also stayed out, probably hoping to get his lap back and get on the lead lap. It doesn't look like he'll be fortunate enough to get that this time.
Looks like Donahue and Fetty actually only lost 1 position each, and I think that was Jesse Abraham that stayed out and got in front of them. So Jesse Abraham had the lead for a bit there. He's going to restart in the 6th position. Will he have anything to get back up front? I'm not sure. I'm really liking the top 3 that are up there right now. I'm going to go ahead and say that the winner is going to come from one of those 3 that are up there right now. I really just think that Gabriel Wood, he comes out when he can, and he pretty much always has a fast truck. Seems like lately he's just been getting caught up in unfortunate incidents, having bad luck, cautions coming out exactly when they don't need to for him, and things just haven't gone his way. So he's still trying to make his way back into the chase standings for the points racing for the Dented Fenders Truck Series, but this is not a points race here. We are on lap number 53. The pace car lights are off, and Gabriel Wood, he is going to lead with the green flag. Deadline for the pizza giveaway here is lap 67 when they complete lap number 67. So Gabriel Wood looks like he gets the jump he needs down into turn number 1 there. Has Mitchell Reeves by about a truck length headed into turn number 1. And battle behind them, Eric Stanford in the 43 of Ethan Glenn. So Ethan Glenn coming out of nowhere. I have no idea who this guy is. Never called a race with this guy in it. Never seen him any of my driving experiences here on iRacing. So be interesting to see him battle it out with some of these top Domino's drivers if he can get up there. He's trying to make his way around the number 27 right now with Jesse Abraham in that Art of Ruin Chevrolet.
Yeah, and as you're speaking here, Curtis, we've had a battle for the lead going on here. Mitchell Reeves in the O2 has cleared the 00 Gabriel Wood, who tries to cross him over as they come down into 1 here. Looks like Mitchell will be able to hold them off coming off here, but now Colton Salick. And we have, oh boy, you know, Curtis, you can't talk about anybody.
That was the, I don't know if you saw that as well, but the 43 of Ethan Glenn, yeah, he went sideways.
That's exactly what I
trigger
saw.
the
Actually, caution didn't come out. I just see him backing up and getting the car going again. He'll be about
oh, and Gabriel Wood, the 00 sideways in turn 2 and up against the wall. I'm not sure if there's some contact there, if that was some net code. It didn't really look like they hit to me, but the 91 of Colton Salick was right on the back bumper of the 00 Gabriel Wood. I think Gabriel just got a little bit loose is what happened and chased it up the racetrack. Didn't get much
loose on
damage
entry.
off of it.
I see it looks like he got loose on entry. It looks like the 27, Jesse Abraham, also got loose coming off of that corner. May have made a little contact with the 85 of Judd Danielson as well. This place just holds calamity at every corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does usually when we come to these tracks that are under a mile in length here with these Dented Fenders trucks. And somebody else I don't think we've really talked about made his way up into the top 5. That is Mark Jackson, familiar name here in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. He's always up front pretty much. We have another caution. It looks
out.
like I hear Judd Danielson over the radio. Looking like he might have lost control of his truck headed down into turn number 1. Just same thing we've seen all night. Just that braking zone down into turn number 1 is treacherous.
Yeah, and this is a real tricky place to get it right going down into 1 there. It's one of the few places where you're actively trail braking, which is where you're kind of dragging the brakes and gradually releasing pressure. And if you're a little too hard on the brakes on entry, or you know, you come off them a little too quick, the truck's really on a banana peel going into 1 there, and you got to get it just right to get through there okay.
Yeah, and I have always struggled with this track. It's definitely not one of my best ones. I like to get out there and run these trucks in the broadcasted races when I get a chance, and I just said to Robert, you can go ahead and race this one. The Richmond's definitely not one of my best tracks, so looks like leaders are coming down pit road. Mitchell Reeves leads them down. The 91 of Colton Salick follows, the 24 of Eric Stanford, 81 of Shane Parrish, Mark Jackson also as well, trying to see if anybody stays out on the track. Looks like pit road's a pretty busy spot, so I'm not sure if anybody on the lead lap did decide to stay out. Looks like the 7 of Sean Kalis actually might have stayed out here. Not sure if that was just to lead a lap. Other than that, all the trucks behind them maybe looking at a wave round here.
Yeah, that would be me. If you guys got a time to bring up interviews, I'll give you one real quick. Got the 17 Gary Sexton in front of me. He's got a lot of damage. I'm quite a few laps down here. Curtis, it would have been better if you'd have raced this race. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have fared much better than you. We'll let these guys get the pit stops completed here, and we'll try and get a hold of one of these drivers and see what their thoughts are for the rest of this race. Try and get a hold of that number 00 Machine Gabriel Wood. He was up there in the lead and was in second and lost it a little bit, so see if we can get a hold of that number 00. Double 0 of Gabriel Wood, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you've slipped back to P number 8. You had the lead there for a bit. 00 of Mitchell Reeves got around you, and it looks like you might have got a little bit loose headed down to turn number 1 there. Is that what happened?
Well, first of all, 02 is Mitchell Reeves. I'm the 00. Come on, Curtis.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm still getting all my stuff straightened out here back on the screen, but
you should know that. But yeah, I was trying to stay in front of Colton there in the 91. I knew he was going to charge it in there, so I kind of hit the brakes a little bit harder, and it slipped the back end out just a little bit, and I had it saved. And I tried getting back to the gas, and it went around again. But not that much damage. I think I still got a chance at it.
I'll tell you, I thought of, I watched that as it was happening, Gabe, and I actually, this past Sunday, I happened to catch Tony Stewart's All-Star series at his sprint car series up at Lebanon Valley Speedway, and in his interview he was talking about in his last trip there that he hit the brakes a little too hard and hit the wall coming off the corner. He says, you know, it's every driver out here can run out of talent, and that's where I ran out of mine. So when you mentioned that, it made me think of that interview.
Yeah, I think we can get it done here. Got a couple of guys in front of us. I need to get by Jesse. He's pretty fast. It's just his entry speed's not the greatest, but he does have good exit speed, so he's going to be one to look out for trying to get around. But I think it's going to be a good race.
All right, Gabriel. All right. Well, hopefully your bad luck here in the Dented Fenders Truck Series can come to an end tonight. You're looking strong out there.
Why'd you have to mention it?
Good luck for the rest of the night. We'll let you get back to the race.
Yeah. This restart's going to be another exciting restart, fans. Make sure you stay tuned. I think we're right at the cutoff point to get your pick in 919-883-7497. The first fan to accurately predict the winner will get the free large topping Domino's pizza. Stay tuned. At the end of the race, you will hear who wins.
The 0-2 of Mitchell Reeves led them to the green flag that time. Got out to a really good jump. No contest, really. 24 of Eric Stanford files back into the second position, but the 91 of Colton Salick, he was trying to look below him down to turn number 1, maybe looking for the dive bomb, but he couldn't get it done. And the 700 is side by side with the 00 of Gabriel Wood right now. They're pretty familiar with each other. Gabriel Wood did a lot of calling the races last year for us when Mike was racing. Mike is 2016 Domino's driver, so he's looking to make his way around Gabriel Wood right now. They're side by side for the 6th and 7th position, I do believe. And Ryan Hill, he has made his way back up inside the top 10 in that number 55 machine, the Xbox One Halo 5 Chevrolet Silverado. I thought he was done, so it looks like that truck has still got some speed, and he is making his way up underneath the number 700 of Mike Donahue and down by him down the front stretch. That was just a power move. He got a huge run coming down the front stretch there and cleared Donahue into turn 1. Sets his sights on the 81 of Shane Parrish, and he's up to the 8th position, so don't count the 55 of Ryan A. Hill to this one anymore.
Yeah, Kurt, I mean, this is one of those places. I mean, it's a short enough track where you can race with a bit of that damage. I mean, we know Ryan's had his share tonight, so but he is coming up through the field, and I do expect him to be a factor here before this is all over.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that free pizza giveaway is closed. That closed about 3 laps ago, so hopefully you got your pick in before the conclusion of lap number 67, and good luck to you all. I know I won a race a couple weeks ago, and the first one in a while, and I didn't even know that somebody picked me to win, but they picked me to win, and I was pretty happy that I got them to win a pizza. I'm sure you've done the same thing. Lots of wins here in this truck series, James. It's got to feel good to win somebody a pizza as the driver, just knowing that they picked you.
It's flattering, and I'm looking here. I think I see a truck on the apron on the backstretch here. I think that might be the 700 of Mike Donahue.
Yeah, I saw him spin out coming off of turn number 2 last lap, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get it back straight before they triggered a caution, and he was still sideways, so not sure what happened with the number 700 of Mike Donahue, but tow truck grabs him quickly and gets him down to pit road.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He was having such a good run. But out in front here, Mitchell Reeves is out to just a little over 1 second lead here. Hoping here we get a few green flag laps. Maybe we can get Michael to put up our current standings for us. Let us know where these guys are standing in the season championship.
We got another truck spinning on the inside here. Looks like they just passed the 43 of Ethan Glenn. He was running up front earlier, I think, guys. Sorry to hear him say that, but I just drove by him. I'm 15 laps down, but he spun out on the inside apron coming off the corner.
Yeah, Looks very similar to what happened to Mike Donahue. The rear of the truck just wiggled coming off of 2 there. He's able to get it turned back around, but he's lost a significant amount of time.
Yeah, the good news is this is our non-points truck race. Fans, thank you for tuning in. We always give a free pizza away. But the guys in this race tonight, like myself, we're not racing for points. The leaders, they're not racing for points. They're racing for bragging rights. You can come down here in the truck series, put on the best show, and win the free, not a free pizza, but win the race ahead of all the regular truck champions. Thank you, James Ross, for not being here tonight, being in the booth. But this is exactly what we call driving for the win for bragging rights.
I think we've got an issue here with the 56 of John Bonwell. It looks like he's had a little altercation here.
Yeah, he took a ride through the grass, actually. He went sideways off of turn number 4, took a ride through the grass, kept it straight. Not sure if he lost any positions. I don't think he did, but he definitely lost some ground to the 81 of Shane Parrish, and that allowed the 27 to get back up to his back bumper a little bit. So
yeah, he
actually
dropped about 4 positions here, Kurt. He dropped from 7 to 11, so he's kind of let the 27, the 84, the 55, and the 77 were able to get by him by the time he was able to get his bearings under him again. So he's sitting here in the 11th position. Doesn't look too worse for wear, and actually gaining ground on Jack Watson 10th right now.
Yeah, guys, one thing I'm noticing, this is a relatively long green flag run we're having, and these tires are definitely giving up. A lot of these guys are seeing self-spinning. That's because the tires are wearing out on them. And I'm just trying to stay out of the way here as the leaders come to me. We got Mitchell Reeves, the leader, passing me on the inside here. But we've had quite a few trucks self-spin, get back on the track with brand new tires, and they're making some serious fast laps.
And caution is out, and the 00 of Gabriel Wood, I did jinx him.
I'm trying to get an eyeball on this, get back to our replay here, but I mean, it looks like more of the same. The loose on entry demon had it saved, and then it just snapped around on him. He did collect the 81 of Shane Parrish in the process. So
and the 3 of Mark Jackson.
A couple of our top trucks here. Well, Curtis, I think you and I just ought to stop talking about drivers altogether. But while we got a chance here, let's see if we can't take a quick commercial break here, possibly our final one, and we'll come back to racing soon.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, Old Man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac, and never feel powerless.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smith. Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Back here live for the Serve Pro 100 here live from Richmond for the Domino's TYJ Dented Fenders Truck Series. Looks like these drivers are doubling up, and to the point we have the number 84 of Josh Tanner leading the race here now. He took 2 right side tires on that last pit stop and grabbed the lead, and the number 24 of Eric Stanford took 2 left side tires to come out in second place ahead of the number 02 of Mitchell Reeves, and Ryan A. Hill inside the top 4 again. So I'm not sure what he did on that pit stop. I didn't take a chance to look at it, but 84 of Josh Tanner, green flag is in the air. He gets out to a good jump. Eric Stanford a little bit slow on the restart. The 02 of Mitchell Reeves clears him into turn number 1, and the 55 of Ryan Hill follows suit inside the number 24 of Eric Stanford down the backstretch, and Mitchell Reeves is going for the lead. He clears the number 84 Josh Tanner in turn number 1, gets a little bit loose, slides up in front of the 84, gets up into the wall, and the 55 of Ryan A. Hill goes to the lead. They're 3 wide for second.
Wow, that was almost a dirt slide job there. Almost pulled it off. And we have a spinner.
Oh, the 84
a couple of
Josh
spinners.
Tanner. Oh no, the 84 of Josh Tanner gets a little bit loose there, coming off turn number 2.
I see the 91 of Colton Salick. Been clean all night, got wrapped up in that, and I think I also saw the 56 of Josh Bonwell get tied up in that wreck.
And it's another unfortunate incident here, but how about Ryan Hill? Caught up in 2 separate wrecks. The first one I definitely thought was gonna end his chances of having any sort of good finish, but there's quite a few damaged trucks out here that might have came back down a little bit to his truck's level, or maybe the pit crew got his truck fixed good enough to run.
Well, at this point, I don't know how many trucks we have left without any damage now, Curtis. At this point, like a regular Saturday night special here at your local short track.
I'll tell you one thing, guys. I drove up on that big accident, and it was just a smoke-filled windshield I had. I had to hit the brakes, and I did not hit anybody, but there were quite a few trucks collected there. Maybe I'll get a top 20 out of this.
Yeah, and how's your truck running anyway, Robert? No signs of engine failure to come or anything like that?
Negative. I got all my damage repaired on pit road. I had the greatest crew out here. This is the 2003 Kurt Busch pit crew working on this 97 Sharpie truck, and they got all the fenders dented out, beat out, no tire rubs or anything, oil cooler replaced, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't have a spare nose cone for tonight or a spare hood, but that doesn't matter here at short tracks anyway. That's hopefully they just made sure the radiator, all the oil lines and everything were still intact, and you're good to go. So I'm still astonished by the 55 being back up there, though. His truck actually doesn't look too bad in the front end, so maybe it wasn't front end colossal damage that he took, but either way it seems to affect you pretty bad, even if you get cranked in the rear. So Eric Stanford, though, right behind him, he's been up there all night, just hasn't really been in the lead. And 85 of Judd Danielson, we saw him go around a couple couple cautions ago it was, and he's made his truck looks pretty clean actually. I don't know if I see any damage on that number 85 actually. Maybe a little bit on the looks like the left side, the right side of that truck actually. The right rear has quite a bit of damage, or a little bit of damage, but nothing major. And looks like Chad Payne actually behind them in the his number 9 My Office HQ truck has made his way up into the 4th position. So Chad started in the 23rd position tonight, had the 28th fastest practice time, and always like to see Chad running up front. It's usually the plate tracks where you see Chad doing well, and not so much on these short tracks, I don't believe, but good to see him up there in the top 5.
Yeah, that was one I was going to mention. I mean, he's quietly snuck in there. His truck actually looks pretty clean. A little bit of damage up on the hood area, but nothing that's going to affect him too badly. Another guy I'm looking at right now looks like he got some pretty significant damage is the O2 of Mitchell Reeves. But the front end's intact. Rear spoiler's a little bent up. Right side a little bit, but he may come back to be a factor in this. I mean, Ryan A. Hill has shown you can drive up through the field with damage, so he's been fast all night. Let's see if the O2 of Mitchell Reeves can bring her to the front.
We're going to be green flag here with under 40 laps to go. Ryan A. Hill is the control car here. He holds him up just a little bit. He gets on the loud pedal, and Eric Stanford couldn't quite match the speed. Judd Danielson gets a run on the inside, headed down to turn number 1. Can Judd Danielson make a move for that 2nd position and set his sights on the lead? It looks like he's going to file back in behind the number 24 of Eric Stanford, and Donald Stewart and Chad Payne side by side behind them.
Yeah, Donald Stewart up to 4th. Good run for him tonight. Jack Watts will also get past Chad Payne for the 5th position here.
And Chad Payne must be on old tires or something, because he's getting absolutely freight trained right now. Got passed by about 6 or 7 trucks in the past lap, but Colton Salick making his way back up there. Good to see that number 91 truck without too much damage back up inside the top 10 after that unfortunate incident that he had a couple cautions ago that put him towards the back, and see if he can make his way back up front.
Oh, absolutely. So I see up front here our leader Ryan Hill has a nice gap, probably about 7 or 8 trucks back to the 24 of Eric Stanford, about 4 or 5 trucks back to Judd Danielson, and then a big gap back to Jack Watts in 4th.
And we're closing in on 30 laps to go here. What do you think? We're at a short track. Short tracks are places where track position sometimes means a lot more than tires. And do you think there's really a window, or where do you think the window is where these guys are gonna basically say, nope, I'm not going in anymore, I'm taking what I got, taking it for the rest of the race?
Oh, oddly enough, I was having this discussion with Shane Parrish before the race, and he said about 15 laps into the run, the tires start to really fall off considerably. By about 25 laps, he said your tires are junk. The fuel wasn't going to be a concern here at all, but I would say if they're within that 25 lap window and they pitted, that's probably going to be their last pit for the night.
Yeah, I'm thinking all these guys out here are riders to the end of the race. Maybe if we have like a 10-lap dash to the end, they might come down and get 2 tires. It's going to be a big strategy for the top 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, and Robert's in the race, so if he thinks that everybody's staying out for the rest of the race, whether there's a caution or not, I mean, if there's not a caution, they're obviously running it down to the end of the checkered flag there, but if there is a caution, Robert thinks everybody's gonna stay out. He's behind the wheel tonight, so sometimes drivers know a little bit more than people up here in the booth. And 55 Ryan A. Hill.
That's why they got a wheel in their hands, and that's why we're holding the microphone.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing, guys. The track feels really good right now. I know we've got, 100 laps on the track, so it's rubbered in pretty good. And I got a slow truck, and it feels good to me. Best all night long.
Well, they always handle well when they're slow, Robert. You know that.
Thank you there, James.
It's like, oh, keep on trucking, buddy. You're doing a great job.
Yes, sir. I'm in the top 20. Go 97.
All right, so taking a look out front here, we've got Ryan A. Hill and Eric Stanford have maintained that gap about 3/4 of a second between first and second. Josh Bonwell now sitting in third, but considerably behind, almost 2 seconds behind the leader. He's followed by Judd Danielson and Colton Selick rounding out our top 5.
Judd Danielson goes around. It looks like Colton Selick was closing on him quickly, and I don't know. I mean, Judd left a little bit of space. I'm not sure if it was enough space to fit that number 91 truck of Colton Selick, but basically just puts him right up into the wall. I'm not sure if that would have put Colton in the 4th position, but I'm not sure if he's going to be claiming a caution on that one, going to the back of the line, but that's unfortunate for that number 91 truck, and especially the 85 of Judd Danielson. He was holding his own up there inside the top 5 for quite a while, and it's going to put some damage on that 85 machine, and actually he's heavily damaged, so I think he must have got hit by somebody else as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. After he spun around, the truck didn't look too bad, but as he was getting turned around, the 9 of Champagne came around and absolutely tattooed him. Probably wasn't expecting him to come down the racetrack right there, and unfortunate for both those drivers.
It looks like Robert McFarland gets a little bit of damage off that too. Not too much. He should be okay. Be able to bang that out under this pit stop, I'm sure. But
well, and this is about that edge. We're coming up on right around 25 laps to go here, and I mean, this is the point. I think you'll see everybody come down here, and then you know, if we were to get another caution, I'm pretty sure those out front will take their chances with track position.
Yeah, and looks like Ryan A. Hill did stay out. Didn't see if anybody else stayed out. Looks like Colton Selick comes out behind him, so doesn't look like anybody did
Ryan
stay
actually
out.
came down the pits. I'm actually watching it now on the replay. Definitely took some right tires here. Looks like the left's going up, so he did make a 4-tire stop. Just his advantage coming to pit row as the leader and put him out in front.
Colton Selick has made his way back up into the top 3 though, so he's got a shot at it too. Now that 55 machine is back up front, he qualified on the pole. Obviously he's had a pretty eventful night. He's gotten involved in at least 2 cautions that I can think of. Had to repair that truck significantly after the first one, and he's made his way back up to the lead, so that's pretty impressive in my books.
Oh, absolutely it is. I just want to give a quick shout out to Sean Kalis in the 45 truck, all the way up from the 30th position up to 8th place now. He did have some issues earlier in the race. Looked like he's done his best to keep that thing as clean as he can since, and slowly making his way up. Good to see Sean having a good run here at Richmond.
How about Ivan Garcia? He's made his way up into the top 10. He didn't even take a qualifying time tonight. Started in 28th. He's got some decent front end damage on that number 72 machine, but I'm sure that was just a wreck where he had nowhere to go, and his pit crew did the best they could to keep that truck out there on the lead lap. Ivan's doing a good job of driving it, keeping it on the lead lap. So,
well, and he's driving that great Tide Ride. I mean, how can you miss that paint scheme? That's an absolute classic.
Definitely is. I'm only 23 years old, and I think that's one of the oldest paint schemes that I remember. So, definitely a classic. And Ivan Garcia is, I think he runs his number for how old he is. So Ivan is 72 years old, believe it or not. You don't see a lot of older guys like that still out here on doing sim racing anyway. So Ivan is definitely a special guy. He does a lot of these races actually, and 72 years old, has a lot of fun doing it. Always just tries to keep his nose clean, and yeah, like you said, running that ever so famous Tide scheme tonight.
Yeah, Ivan's a great guy too. I think everyone enjoys racing around him. He's one of the most courteous racers out there as well. So very, very rare you hear his name around. And we've gone green.
Yeah, Ryan A. Hill looks like he took the outside line on that restart. Got a good jump on the number 24 of Eric Stanford, but Stanford closed the gap a little bit in turn 1, so we'll see if he can maintain that gap and maybe give the 55 something to fight for. The only truck that we really saw that ever had anything for the 55, and that was over 75, 80 laps ago, was the number 98 of David Washington, and he got out in front of the 55. Wasn't sure if the 55 is going to be able to make it back around, but 98 has some issues, and looks like the 24 a little bit of a wiggle there.
The 02 Mitchell Reeves is quickly approaching and has just passed the 24 of Eric Stanford. Eric threw a huge block going down into 1, and Mitchell was able to clear him on the outside. He may have something for our leader, Ryan Hill.
And Jesse Abraham and Josh Bonwell battling hard behind them. Abraham up into Bonwell. Bonwell sideways right in front of Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart does an awesome job of checking up there. Colton Salick just sails on by, and the 98 of David Washington, he's back out there turning some laps. He's 69 laps down, but he's trying to finish this race with some pride.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, this is a non-points race, but, most of our races here are points races, and, every point would matter. So I guess, even if you're not running for points, you don't want to break that habit of going out and getting every point you can possibly get.
Yeah, that's coming from your 2017 points leader. James is actually leading the points right now. The only reason he's not in this race right now is because it's an off week. It's a non-points race, and
actually, I had Robert Lynn in favor. He asked if I might help him out so he could concentrate a little more behind the wheel tonight.
Yeah, and I think that was definitely a good idea. It's always, I've tried the commentating driving thing, and it's not too bad under caution, but you're trying to drive, and especially on a short track here like Richmond, it's just not something you really want to have to deal with. So yeah, thanks James for coming up here tonight. I know you helped out with the Top Shelf Cup Series as well, and yeah, leading the points. So you could have easily been out here trying to show these guys up tonight.
These guys are quick. Don't let the standings fool you. These guys are all very competitive here. I'm just watching our lead battle here. Mitchell Reeves did look to be closing the battle, the distance here, but he did actually just touch the wall on the front stretch. Not a whole lot of damage, but that gap increased from about 0.7 of a second to just over a second now.
We'll see if Ryan A. Hill can hold on to this one. Like I said a couple times, he's had a pretty eventful race, and closing in on 10 laps to go here. He's going to bring it around across the stripe, and that's going to be 13 laps to go. So Ryan A. Hill is still out to about just over a second lead, like you said last time by, and looking for some other side-by-side battles on the track.
We've just had a pass for third here, Curtis. We've had Jack Watts with Eric Stanford mainly. Got a little high in the corner up into the gray stuff, and Jack Watts was able to pass in from third. Where did he come from? I've hardly said his name all night.
Yeah, Jack, I guess, has just been minding his own business, staying back there, trying to stay at all the trouble. His truck looks relatively clean. Rear end looks basically pristine. Front end, same thing. So I'm not sure if he has much damage, if any. A little bit of scrape on the right side looks to be the only damage there. And Jack Watts is another guy. He's a good guy. I like racing with Jack in the other Domino's series, and doesn't really. I've seen him get lucky enough really to grab too many top threes this season. He's been fast enough to run up near the top 3, top 5 all year, but things just haven't really played into his favor. 10 laps to go here. We'll see if he can hold off Eric Stanford and Colton Salick for that third position. Maybe make his way up towards Nick Reynolds. or Mitchell Reeves, sorry, in that 02. That's running a similar paint scheme to what Nick Reynolds normally does.
Yeah, we're coming up on just coming up on 8 laps to go here. Jack did have a podium finish. It was either a second or third when we ran back at Kentucky. Actually stayed about the same gap off me for about 35 laps towards the end of the race, and you know, he had a real good finish that night. Said he picked up some things, so maybe that's what he was doing, was just laying back and learning.
In the 55, Ryan A. Hill has caught lap traffic too wide, and looks like the 3 of Mark Jackson is trying to stay on the lead lap all he can, and caution is out. This is going to change everything. We're probably going to get about a 1 or 2 lap shootout to end this thing. And the 7, wow, I think you're right. We shouldn't have just talked about anybody, because the 77 of Jack Wass just got loose and entering turn 3 there and overcorrected up into the wall hard.
It's amazing how that happens, Kurt. It seems like everyone we've talked about all night has hit calamity a lap or 2 later. So maybe we ought to have another moment of silence just so these drivers can make it through safe and sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up tonight with. I mean, I've heard about the commentators, the broadcasters, commentators curse. Everybody knows about it who's been around watching these for a while. It just seems like sometimes you talk about somebody and then within 5 laps they've junked themselves by or they've just gotten into a wreck that wasn't their fault at all, and we've just usually see it maybe once a race, every once in a while, but we've seen it about 5 or 6 times tonight. So I want to personally apologize to any driver that I've talked about that ended up junk within 5 laps, because that's definitely the commentator's curse.
Yeah, I hear you there. Well, I might have to double your salary for you not to mention next week. Just talk about everyone else in the race and leave me alone.
Well, double my salary would still be 0, so won't cost
I'll
much.
add another 0 in front or behind, whichever you like, Curtis.
Yeah, I just have fun doing this, and yeah, wasn't able to run the truck series last year because you know, you win a Domino's TYJ Racing Series. That's the truck series, and I believe even the Xfinity Series. You got to move up to the next level the next season, and you know, let somebody else have a go at the championship. So that's basically what I was told that I had to do this season, and I was happy to just come up here and call the races instead. I think it's just as much fun a lot of the time.
Oh, well, tonight, as tough as this place looks, I think this is definitely the place to be. I imagine it'd be a heck of a workout in these things, and white knuckling it half the time. But we're looking at here, I think we're coming up to 1 to go this time around. Looks like we might have a 1 or 2 lap shootout here. What are your thoughts here on this final restart? What do you expect here?
Well, I mean, I think Mitchell Reeves is really going to go for it hard, and he might have something for the 55 of Ryan A. Hill. Mitchell Reeves did not take a qualifying time, but his practice time was actually faster than the 55 of Ryan A. Hill, so Eric Stanford, can't count him out as well. He qualified in 6th. He's been up there all night. Colton Salick has went to the back and drove his way back up through the field in the 4th position, and if any of these guys overdrive it a little bit, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of the time when you're racing hard with people and you need to make a big move, driving it hard into the corner is something that you can use to your advantage to get underneath somebody or just make that big move that you need to do. And here tonight at Richmond, the trucks are just so off balance that you're getting so loose into the corner that it's hard to keep control of it. So these guys are going to be driving it right on the edge, and be an interesting end to this thing. I think anybody inside the top 5 or 6 has a shot at it. Definitely inside the top 3 rows has a shot at it.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, I'm looking, the lights are off on this pace car. This will be a 1 lap shootout to end this thing. So 1 lap for all she wrote. I think right now it just comes down to how big a jump Ryan A. Hill will get on this restart. It does look like he chooses the inside lane, so well, let's kind of see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm sure Ryan A. Hill is really just trying to think about when he should go. He's just hoping that the 0-2 of Mitchell Reeves doesn't time the start perfectly. Pace car is going to pull off for the final time tonight here in the Serve Pro 100 here from Richmond. Ryan A. Hill gets on the loud pedal as soon as the pace car pulls off.
Oh, and
Mitchell
that is
Reeves
absolutely brilliant.
Mitchell Reeves wasn't quite able to keep even with him, and Eric Stanford got inside. I'm not sure if Reeves is going to be able to get back to him. The battle right now looks to be for third position. Colton Salick is outside the number 24 of Eric Stanford, and Jesse Abraham sails it in there and goes around. Colton Salick is side by side with Eric Stanford for the third position as Ryan A. Hill crosses the line and takes the win. And it looks like Colton Salick does grab that third position. Denton Fender's banging doors at the line with Eric Stanford.
Well, and they were spinning all over. We had a spin in the middle of 1 and 2 involving the 78 of Donald Stewart. He went around. I saw another spin in 3 and 4. I'm not even sure who that was yet. But Ryan Hill is your winner here tonight at Richmond.
How about that battle for the third position? Colton Salick, power move on the outside. It looks like the 24 of Eric Stanford. It's a little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 4 there, and Colton Salick able to grab onto that position. What a pass for the third position there, right at the finish line.
Oh yeah, that was one heck of a battle there. I'll tell you, these guys put on a show each and every time they're out here. It's such a pleasure to watch, and congrats obviously to Ryan, Mitchell, Colton, all with great finishes tonight. Why don't you take us down our rundown for our finishing order?
And taking the win here tonight in the Serve Pro 100 is the number 55 of Ryan A. Hill. Qualifies on the pole, takes the win here tonight. Wasn't that easy though. He had quite an eventful race. Like I said, he had to go to the back with some damage repair, involved in a couple of wrecks. Gets the job done, so clearly the most dominant truck here tonight. 0-2 of Mitchell Reeves drives it up from the 24th position, finishes P number 2, so good drive for Mitchell Reeves. And Colton Salick, I just talked about it, that battle at the end for third place. He gets the job done and finishes third. Eric Stanford in fourth. Josh Bonwell rounds out your top 5 here tonight. Solid run for Josh. Practiced 5th, qualified 5th, and finished the race in 5th. And Bo Glenn in the number 46. Some guy that I haven't even heard of before tonight, so good job to Bo for coming out here, running with these guys that he's not really familiar with, giving them lots of space, and bringing it home in a good finishing position of 6th place here tonight. Mark Jackson finishes 7th. 45 of Sean Kalis finishes 8th. The number 72 of Ivan Garcia will bring home a top 10 finish here tonight, finishing 9th place. Jesse Abraham finishes 10th. Donald Stewart finishes 11th here tonight. That rounds out your lead lap drivers, and Ethan Glenn in the 43 going to finish 12th. Jack Watts finishes 13th here tonight. Robert McFarland 14th. Good run before you, Robert. It's about halfway down the field, so not too bad for the amount of racing that you get to do. Judd Danielson finishes behind you in in his number 85 machine, 15th position, and Chad Payne finishes 16th. David Wright in the number 42 finishes in 17th position tonight. 84 of Josh Tanner finishes 18th. Kevin Fetty finishes in 19th tonight. Gary Sexton 20th. Mike Donahue 21st. Shane Parrish 22nd. Gabriel Wood 23rd. David Washington 24th. Jeff T. Martin 25th. William Locklear 26th here tonight. The 12 of William Roberts Jr. brings it home 27th. Nick Reynolds in the 54 tonight finishes 28th. Gerald Campbell 29th. Blake Griffith 30th, and Vernon Margheim, unfortunate night for him, only made it about 2 or 3 laps here tonight. He'll round out your field in 31st.
Hey, thank you so much there, Curtis. Thank you so much, James. I'll tell you what, right now, it looks like we've got our top 3 finishers ready for interviews. I'm going to let James interview our 3rd place finisher, Colton Salick. He had a couple of issues early in the race. James, think you've caught up with him down there on pit road?
Hey, Colton Salick, this is James here with All Pro Broadcasting. Third place finish for you tonight. Good to see you getting a good finish here. I know there was a little adversity during the race. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody did, had a race without any adversity. Why don't you take us through your experiences tonight and how you wound up bringing her home in a podium position?
To be honest, I have no idea. I got in an incident there. We were 4 wide, and I knew I was gonna get wrecked, but I was hoping that he'd wreck up towards the top and not towards the bottom. Whatever. Made my way up towards the front, and then just got in that incident with Judd. I haven't even seen it yet, so I don't know. Got sent to the back for that one, and then from there it was either hope everyone in front of me wrecks or pass everyone, and I ended up passing all the way up to 4th. Got that lucky caution, came out right in front of me, and yeah, was able to beat out who was that? Eric by nose there at the start finish line. So
yeah,
really
that was one heck of a move up there on the outside. Did you know you had it? Were you not sure? Because up here in the booth, we weren't sure who pulled it off.
I mean, all the way around that last lap, I realized once I got clear, there was no way I was just gonna push him out of my way, because I knew I was gonna end up having to wreck everyone to do it, because he was right on the guy in front. So I decided that I was just gonna have to throw it around the outside and see if I got the run off, and I think I pinched him down just enough. Coming off the corner, I knew it was gonna be really close, and I knew he was gonna end up dooring me because there was no other way for him to have a chance at it. Just the top lane got so much more of a run, and as the track rubbered up, the top was faster or quicker when you're side by side. So I didn't know I had it. It took a while for my relative to refresh there on my screen, and it was showing 4th for a while, and I started getting upset, and then my spotter said I got top 3, so it was really fun.
Well, great finish. Great job bringing it up here. Who do you need to thank? Who gets it done for the 91 truck?
Tanner Talarico and all of Talarico's Signs and Designs. Tanner's helped me out so much with everything, getting into the league, helping me out, getting quicker and quicker every week. He hasn't made a truck with his hood on it, so this Traxxas truck tonight was just sampling one of his paints. If you want to get a paint from him, message him on Trading Paints or on iRacing. It's Tanner Talarico. All the Unleashed Racing team, Andrew Payne, Will Norton, all of them, they help me out a ton. They're great to race around and help me learn. And, of course, you guys for putting on a great show every week. So, yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Colton. Go off and enjoy your 3rd place, and we'll see you back here hopefully sometime soon.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, looks like now I've caught up with our 2nd place finisher, a very, very highly talented Mitchell Reeves. This guy has got some real live racing. I think he does a lot of drag racing in a beautiful blue Camaro. He can tell us about that later if he wants to, but congratulations there, Mitchell Reeves, for a great 2nd place finish. You started 24th. How was your race tonight, Mitchell?
It was definitely an up and down race. We kind of, the first 20 laps was really an up and down deal. Kind of let a lot of people just take their own selves out. And we started making moves. We had a good bit of laps there early, and I think Josh Tanner took 2 tires, and we were running really hard there for first, and I used him up and just didn't get on the brakes, and then doing a slide job, and he did what I would have done in the same position, gave me the bumper and put me in the wall, which I deserved it. But we had some damage and came back, but me and Ryan became good buds, and me and him had a good little bout with David Washington here in the top shelf here a couple months back, and it was kind of fun for me and Ryan to battle out here once again for the win this time instead. So be back on podium with Domino's, and I've kind of been running part-time lately with everything. It's good to be 2nd, and hopefully we can start making some more races soon.
Yes, sir, Mitchell. We definitely appreciate you being here. When you can be here, obviously everybody's real life is much more important. We appreciate you representing Southeast Motorsports in that beautiful O2 Jegs machine. Who else would you like to give thanks for this 2nd place finish?
Well, I got to give a huge shout out to Southeast Motorsports first and foremost. Definitely have been away from them guys a while, but every time I show up, it's like we've been been racing every day like it was yesterday. And it's hard to find teammates like that'll bring you back in like nothing's going on. Got to give a huge shout out to the 24 of Eric Stanford. Me and him raced really hard the whole night, and there was a time about 20 to go that he really could have wrecked me. and he did the good thing and lifted and saved both of our trucks. So, you know, it's nice to still know that there's people that you will race you clean, just like Ryan. Shout out to him for winning. But it was really cool to race people hard, and you know, you didn't get your stuff wrecked. It was just really good door-to-door racing. And last and certainly not least, Michael D'Amico. This is a huge day for him with his son Tanner. It's great to represent Michael D'Amico and that whole entire family with Michelle and all that. Just a huge shout out to that whole family, and my prayers are going to them tonight. Just glad to be back, and can't wait for the next one.
Hey, we appreciate every time you're in here, and we all are thinking about the Michael D'Amico, Michelle Eisenhower family. Losing any kind of family member is really hard, especially when they're young. So thanks so much, Mitchell. Congratulations, and keep sending me the pics of your drag racing career on Saturday nights. I love to see them. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
10-4, Southeast out.
10-4. I think now we've got Curtis Young is caught up with our winner. I tell you what, this guy has finished so many times in the second place. I don't know the count, Curtis, if you've got it, or James, if you've got it. Michael, you got it. I think Ryan Hill has finished second at least a half dozen times. I think you caught up with him down there in Victory Circle. He's got an abundant amount of champagne flowing. Curtis, take it away.
Yeah, Ryan, pretty eventful race for you here tonight. You qualified on the pole, but didn't really come that easy for you. You got passed by the 98 of David Washington, and then just basically collected in 2 wrecks and found yourself back past the 20th position, but you fought hard, made your way back up to the front, and didn't really look back after you reclaimed the lead. How'd you do it?
Never give up. That's one thing you gotta do. You can never give up in any of these races, and throughout the times I've been racing here at the Domino's 2JS Racing Series, whether it's in the trucks or the dirt or the cup, can't give up, and that's what this race team did. We, like you said, we qualified on pole, got caught up in an unfortunate wreck, got our damage fixed. It was about 2 minutes and 30 seconds of damage. I couldn't think a better team for repairing the damage. I mean, luckily it was on the left front, so it helped turn in the center a little bit better, so I was able to drive it in a little bit deeper. So it was all fun. 133 laps of fun.
Yeah, when I saw the damage on your truck, I thought you were done for sure. I thought you were out of contention to even be able to contend for the win, so good job getting it back up there. It's definitely, we're here in the Dented Fenders Truck Series, not the Top Shelf Cup Series, not a points race, but definitely still got to mean something to win this race here tonight. Who'd you like to thank?
Oh yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me. I don't know if y'all watched the burnouts, but I was sitting here in the Victory Circle, climbing out of the car, and the truck blew up. So I think this motor went through some great stuff and brought us a win. But anyways, to thank us, just everybody at DBR. You know, we're still everybody. Unfortunately, Colin couldn't make it to the event. All the sponsors on the car, everybody puts on the Dented Fender Truck Series. Robert, Curtis, James, everybody. This Michael D'Amico for the broadcasting, and as Robert told us before the race started, this race meant a lot for Michael. So I'm going to take the win and go ahead and give it to Michael. He deserves it. This race is for him. So.
I appreciate that very much there, Ryan. I tell you what, our hearts go out to Michael D'Amico and Michelle Eisenhower with their son. I tell you what, that's a huge loss. And here at Domino's TYJ Racing, fans, if you haven't noticed, we are big time into family. We're big time into military. We're big time into country. And we're also big time into give away free pizzas. And we do have a free pizza winner tonight. Heather Thomas from Charlotte, North Carolina, picked Ryan Hill. I don't know if she's been following him all these races. He's finished in second, and she finally said, hey, I'm going to keep picking him. I think she has been doing that, and she finally got that free large 3-topping Domino's free pizza. So congratulations to Ryan and Heather Thomas. So for Curtis Young, James Ross, Michael D'Amico, his family, Michelle Eisenhower, and their passing, our thoughts and our prayers go out to him. Rest in peace. Great young man. I never knew him, but I tell you what, if he was the son of Michael and Michelle, I tell you what, he's got to be an awesome guy. So everybody will meet him in heaven one day, which we absolutely believe in here at Domino's TYJ Racing. So fans, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow night, we're going to have our very exciting race. It's going to be back at Daytona for our Xfinity Series. You do not want to miss this race. It's going to be high speeds, gas pedal, metal to the pedal, wide open all the way around that 2.5-mile track. Fans, we are going to be giving away another large free Domino's pizza. And I tell you what, If you thought tonight was exciting, you just wait till tomorrow night. No, I will not be in the field to slow people down. I'll be here calling the race as well. So, fans, thank you so much for joining us. For Curtis Shook, James Ross, Michael D'Amico, this is Robert McFarland. Thanks again. Have a great night, and sleep fast, work hard, and be back here tomorrow night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern and All Pro Broadcasting so you can win the chance to get that free large Domino's pizza. Have a great night, everybody.